Three, two, one. And we are live. Alright guys, welcome back to the live stream. Welcome back to 100,000 subscribers. Thank you so much guys. Unbelievable. Last year around this time I didn't thought this would be possible, to be totally honest, because I was thinking about stopping YouTube altogether, but now we're here. Let me just adjust my mic real quick. I see it's hot. 1 second. Here we go. Check, check, check. I think that's better. Yeah, so last year I wasn't even thinking about YouTube anymore. I was working my job and I thought this is it, but now we're here, 100,000. I had this little poll here in the community tab. Some people thought it's going to be in a month, in a week, and now it was way faster than expected. Thank you so much guys, from the bottom of my heart. Really, thanks you so much for the support, for sharing the videos, for subscribing, of course, needless to say, because without you, this wouldn't be possible. Again, needless to say, obviously, because it is you who subscribed, so now we made it to 100k. What I'm wondering about right now is if they will send me the silver play button. I really doubt it. Nobody contacted me yet. We will see if I am a YouTube partner. We will see if YouTube wants me to be representative of the 100k here. I'm really keen to find out. I'm looking forward to see it. If so, we're going to do a little unboxing then, because it is a major milestone. I started YouTube with 10 subscribers, something on those lines. And a few of those 10 subscribers are still with me. It's an absolutely amazing journey. I just calculated it, and today, roughly, around this time, 6 years ago, I started YouTube. So for people that want to get into YouTube, it's definitely not an easy journey. It depends on your content, of course. It depends what kind of stuff you're putting out here, because the algorithm doesn't reward everything, right? So I've seen people after 6 years being only at 1,000 subscribers. I've seen others being at 1 million subscribers. Thank you so much, Saya. Thank you so much, Saya. Good to see you here. $5 by Saya. Exciting. Congrats, she says. Makes me happy to see this starting my day. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Greetings to the family. Greetings to the little one as well. And yeah, it is very exciting. Saya is one of my early subscribers and still here. Thank you so much, Saya. Appreciate it. Guys, as you just saw, Saya donated here. You can donate via Streamlabs or Super Chats, but Hammer Nail, thank you very much. But that being said, today I'm going to try to respond to as many chats as well, because we're celebrating here, so I'm not going to answer only the super chats. Today is going to be a free-for-all, I hope, and therefore I'm going to try to respond to as many questions as possible. If you want to support, of course, I'm not going to say no. Thank you very much for that as well. Yes, as I was saying, started out with 10 subscribers or so. And you have different developments on YouTube, of course. You have some people that are at millions after just a year or two. For me, it took 6 years to get to 100k. And honestly, it's a miracle that I'm here at all, because this channel has been, as I say always, demonetized, shadow banned and whatnot. Copyright striked for no apparent reason whatsoever, so they really tried to take me down, but somehow I got past the algorithm, somehow I got past it, and now we are here. Nevertheless, that being said, I still do have to censor myself fully in order to abide by the community guidelines. So yet again, YouTube, I know you're watching. Yes, I am abiding by the community guidelines. Absolutely, I respect the platform. Those are the house rules. If you go to somebody, they are your host, they have certain rules in their house. Can't complain about it. Even if it sucks, can't complain about it. It is what it is. So we have to obey by those rules, unfortunately, here. But in the long run, it is definitely risky territory. Therefore, I already checked for a new platform. I registered with Rumble as well now. As for right now, I still cannot live stream on Rumble, and yeah, I could have linked it here. Let me just link it now in the chat. 1 second. Otherwise, if you cannot access the chat, you're watching this offline, Bobby's Perspective. Simply Bobby's Perspective on Rumble. And then you should be able to find me. So I'm gonna definitely start streaming over there. At the moment, I'm mirroring my YouTube page, but this takes some time. So in a week or so, all of my YouTube content should be on Rumble as well. And then I want to start streaming over there so I can actually speak my mind. We're gonna see how that works, what I need to set up in order to make it work. But that being said, it needs to be done. Matter of fact, I just double checked. It already mirrored my latest videos. So that's pretty cool. Okay, fantastic. Let me just show you this real quick. 1 second. Here we go. Bobby's Perspective on Rumble. Can you see this? Here we are. Fantastic. The Matrix. Whew. Okay, here we are. Bobby's Perspective on Rumble. Just set it up. It's a mirror. It's identical to my YouTube channel, as you can see. Thank you very much. So I'm just going to copy this link and I'm going to post it into the chat box. So head over there and subscribe. Because in the future I really want to do live streams over there because they actually support free speech. Last time I checked. I do not have to censor myself over there. That will be quite refreshing, let me tell you. Quite refreshing indeed. That'll be awesome. Okay, so it's in the chat box now. Head over there to Rumble, otherwise just Google Rumble, Bobby's Perspective, and subscribe over there. Okay, so much for that. As I was saying, it took me quite some time and many ups and downs, to be honest. If I would make a recommendation, if you want to make it on YouTube, do not speak your mind, honestly, because it's just too tough to succeed. If this is what you want, if you do YouTube simply to make money out of it, then don't do what I did, because 90% of my time here on YouTube, I really didn't make money at all. So for me, it was extremely important to speak my mind on YouTube, because 2014, I left Germany. So I lived in Germany, I left it, I couldn't see the European, especially not the German weather any longer. I didn't want to be in that surrounding, I didn't want to be, there anymore. I had enough. I was 27 years old. And then I left to Australia. It was beautiful. The change of scenery was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. Beautiful beaches, beautiful people, everything was awesome. However, one thing was missing. My friends. My friends I unfortunately couldn't take with me. And before that I was hanging out with my friends 24/7. I was the type of guy, even if I would go to a girl, would hook up, I wouldn't spend the night over there. I would always come back to my friends. I have memories of that. I would always come back at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. We would meet up with friends and just chill out, relax, talk about what has happened. For me that was extremely important. I'm a guy's guy. And whilst traveling, I met many new people. It was amazing. But at the same time, I didn't have my friends with me. So I started talking to those other people and told them basically about everything I can think of. Because that's how I am. Unfortunately, here on YouTube, not so much anymore, because I cannot mention many topics without being cancelled. And the people that I met told me it would be amazing if you open up a YouTube channel. So I didn't even really understand what the concept of a YouTube channel is back then. 6 years ago, I really didn't watch any YouTube. So I got into it, started watching a bit, and then I got somewhat of an idea what you actually do on YouTube. So what I started doing then is I took my phone. It was an HTC Desire, I think. That was the name. A really old smartphone, my first smartphone. And I just pointed it at me with a selfie cam and I started talking to it. And I just shared my perspective, right? This is why I called my channel Bobby's Perspective, because I had this urge to tell everyone what I'm doing. That's just me. But at the same time, I used the phone therapeutically, if you will, almost, and I talked to it the same way that I talk to my friends. So now, of course, we had the audio function, so I would record some audio mails. It just started back then. I would record some audio mails to my friends, and then basically I would transmute that. Thank you so much, guys. Gonna read out in a second. I would transmute that and I would simply talk about the same topics, but on my YouTube channel, right? And I got into veganism, raw veganism, spirituality, etc., etc. And I started talking about all of it simply to my viewers. And this is why from the get-go, thank you so much. This is why from the get-go, it was absolutely amazing for me, because I started building this online community of really hardcore supporters and people that resonated with me just like friends. And I was of the firm conviction that if I speak my mind, if I am honest, if I speak unfiltered, and this is what I loved about YouTube, because back then I could speak unfiltered, then this will attract... Thank you. I'll read on in a second. Then this will in turn attract people that are like-minded and people that I actually can appreciate. Because I was never a real fan of somebody. I don't understand that concept. It does resonate with me. For me, it's idolatry when I see people worshipping YouTubers or celebrities or whatnot. I didn't understand that. And therefore, what was so beautiful for me about YouTube is that for the first time, we actually could go past that. Because for the first time, we're not looking at a cinema and there is some sort of casted person that plays a persona and appears to be somebody, but in reality is somebody else, right? So with YouTube, I realized, hey, they're just regular people and everybody is sharing their perspective, and this is awesome because now you can connect and make even more friends online. That's really, really cool. So this concept I appreciated, and this is what I really loved about YouTube. Kind of naive, yet again, because people started treating it as a business, and nothing wrong with that, I understand, but at the same time that kind of killed the spirit of YouTube for me. Once people started just using it for promotions and whatnot, for me it was important to keep it as Bobby's perspective, as a outlet where I can share my unfiltered thoughts. Unfortunately, as I said, now, especially the last 2 to 3 years, YouTube has changed and we cannot really share our perspective any longer fully. I'm still myself, I'm still never gonna put on an act, but at the same time I will have to hold back here on YouTube, unfortunately, in order to exist here within this realm. But, as I said, it's the house rules. If I go to a library, for example, I know that I will have to whisper. That's what it is. I'm still Bobby, but I have to whisper, right? And that's what it is around here. That being said, lately, especially with the religious content, thank God I can be myself, basically. There is nothing edgy about it. It's family friendly. And therefore I can do that with no worries here on YouTube, which I really, really like. It's nice. But the live streams, this is where I really want to talk, unfiltered, unedited. And this is why, as I said, I would have to move that to another platform. That being said, yet again, I'm kind of drifting off the subject. If you want to make it on YouTube for monetary reasons, then don't do it like myself. Because this was a long, long journey. And it was definitely not so much about money. It was all about just sharing my perspective and truth. And yeah, I'm very, very happy that I'm in this position, and also more surprised that it led to 100K. Really, really surprised, because it's still, as I said, Bobby's perspective, and now I have 100,000 subscribers. This is really, really crazy. I know that for many people nowadays, today's standard is millions and whatnot, but for me 100,000 is absolutely unbelievable, especially if you see it in relation, right? I mean, 100,000. If you think about a football stadium or something, and I'm really not into soccer, I can't stand it, but I think you can fit 30,000, maybe 60,000 people into that. I'm not sure, right? And I have 100,000 people watching this channel or haven't stumbled across this channel. It's really humbling and absolutely amazing. Okay, enough rambling. Thank you so much, guys. One question I have for you, people reached out and said, hey, what will be the 100K special video? I don't know, man. I have never watched a 100K special video. I will have to think about something, and it came somewhat by surprise, because lately the channel has been growing very, very fast, so I didn't expect the 100K to just appear now, but now they're here, and now I would have to prepare something specific. Today's live stream is simply to say thank you to everybody, and to answer as many questions as I can, but I hope that I very, very soon can make a 100K special video of sorts. If you have any ideas, please let me know. Okay, now to the super chats. Again, thank you so much, guys. Shoot. The mic is still bad. Let me check. Check. Is the mic better now? 1 second. I don't know what's up with it. I think it's the gain. 1 second. It must be the gain. Let me turn this off. Okay. Check. It's better now. I think now it should be better. So all of this with a bad mic. Sorry for that, guys. Let me double check. Okay, first the super chats. Hammernail, congrats, bro. Thank you very much, Hammernail. Always here. I really appreciate it, bro. Javid, good to see you, brother. Bobby, about to head to the airport today. Ah, how would I, if I could, take a censored chocolate? Have you ever tripped on a flight? I've never done that, and I personally wouldn't recommend it. Because, again, wait a second. Here we go. Disclaimer. Okay, you got it. Nothing I'm gonna say here is a recommendation or anything of those sorts. If anything, please stay away from all substances and stay as natural as possible. So, that being said, I would never consider any type of substance on a flight, especially because during the influence, I would be so concerned with my own internal life that everything else around me would extremely annoy me and make me even more anxious, even more paranoid. So if you face some sort of flight fear, this is the last thing that you want to do. So that's all I can say here yet again, because otherwise you know the drill with YouTube. Definitely stay away from it. This is my real honest opinion. Don't touch anything like that on a flight. You have over-the-counter medication, Vomex being one of them, for example, against flight drowsiness and stuff like that. That okay. Then again, I don't know what is over-the-counter in America. Certain pills that can calm you down a little bit or whatnot. Okay. You can do that on a long flight so you can sleep better, but what you just mentioned there, absolutely not, brother. Absolutely not, man. Don't do that to yourself. It's gonna be horrific. I wouldn't touch it at all. In countries where the green plant is legal now, for some it can do the job. I personally wouldn't touch it either because I would still get paranoid. So, there you go. That's all I can say here yet again. Javid, again, thank you very much, brother. Says, we are your friends now, Bobby. You can live stream at 2 a.m. like you used to hang with your friends after a PE session at 2 a.m. Yeah, pretty much, bro. That's right. Actually, crazy story, man. One of my friends finally made it over here to Thailand. He lived in Australia for 5 years, and now we met up, finally, hung out a bit. But now he met another girl, it's always a girl, on a different place, in a different place here in Thailand, and now we are separated again. So after 8 years of traveling, him being 5 years in Australia, we finally meet up again, and turns out he falls in love, and he's with his woman and I'm with my woman, and we are separated again. So be it. I have my online friends. Nah, really, so glad to have you guys. It's absolutely amazing. The support has been absolutely insane, I have to say. Every arc, every period had its own typical subscribers and followers, but overall it has been such a wild ride, man. We had the vegan support crew, then we had the vegan haters, we had the meat crew, we had the spiritual crew, we had people that had all of it, right? Religious, etc., and whatnot. It has been absolutely amazing. But I have to say, the most passionate ones are definitely the Muslims. Hands down, nobody's supporting more than Muslims. That is really the case. Abdullah, thank you very much, brother. Appreciate it. Did you get a chance to watch The Message movie? Not yet, bro. Unfortunately, not yet. But I saved it to my playlist, and I will definitely watch it, God willing, soon. Thank you so much, bro. Javid again. Mic is good. I heard everything. Sweet. I hope so. I saw I was peaking a little bit, but it's very, very strange with this computer. I can leave everything set up the same, and then reboot, and all of a sudden everything sounds different. It's very strange, but nevertheless, I think it's quite alright now. Okay. Abdullah, thank you very much, brother, yet again. By the way, YouTube has deleted a lot of Islamic videos once they reach large viewers. Half my old playlist has been deleted over the last 7 years. Very weird. Yeah, it's not weird at all because, okay, let me try to formulate this yet again as good as I can here on this platform. YouTube seems to favor certain content that is maybe not educational, but rather entertaining for the broad masses. Okay, let's put it that way. So, for example, giving away money for whatever, for stunts, yeah, that's what I've seen. Or maybe if you do something charitable, give it to a homeless person on a short and film it, and so the world can see it and gather compassion points, right? I've seen that certain people, certain individuals here on YouTube actually are allowed to speak a certain amount of truth, but at the same time they have very, very misleading other content. So now, I'm not the guru here, I'm not the only one that is facing that censorship. I know plenty of people here on YouTube that have the exact same dilemma like me. It always seems to happen when you speak not only a truth, but you go from topic to topic to topic to topic and point out the truths within those topics. And then when you have a whole barrage of information and you checked all of those boxes in every single topic, that's when YouTube shuts you down. That's what I noticed. It's really the case. So now you can say, nah, not true. I've seen it. I've seen it with huge channels, with small channels. It seems to be always the same pattern. So for example, if you give dietary advice and that's all you do, fine. But if you intermix it, for example, right? Sverige has been just deleted. And Sverige, I saw his video about it, and he said that it must have been because I'm the only one that speaks about raw meat. And that's not true. You're not the only one that speaks about raw meat. There are plenty of other channels that speak about raw meat and raw meat only, and they have absolutely no issues whatsoever. The issue becomes when you speak about other truths as well. So he spoke about the raw meat thing, but he spoke about feminism in a sense as well. He spoke about nature as well. So you just talk about certain subjects that if you have plenty of them, and you can see I'm kind of biting my tongue here because I have to censor myself. If you speak about those certain subjects, then you can set a person free, basically, because then after a while people start to realize what is actually going on here in the system and what the root cause is. That is the issue here. So for example, if we take another great channel, I talked about it in one of my last YouTube videos as well, Muslim Skeptic. I've been watching, and I think he's doing fantastic work on liberalism. And with that, he will face, of course, a lot of censorship, especially now in the future, I'm sure. God protect him from that. But nevertheless, he, for example, doesn't speak about diet, right? And that might seem totally blasé to you guys, as if that is really not important. I've seen that pattern. So once you start attacking every subject, every fabric of the society, then they have to take you down. So for example, when we look at Andrew Tate has been cancelled as well, obviously, needless to say. Why? Some people think because he was misogynistic, because he spoke about women. But that's not true. If you look at him precisely, you will see that he had an opinion on every single topic as well. And that's what I've noticed over the past years. People that get cancelled on YouTube are people that have an opinion about every single subject and give you truths within every single subject. Because if you talk about, I believe, 3 or 4 such subjects, a person has enough information to actually break out of the conditioning. And that's what they, of course, do not want to. So therefore, if they play with somebody like Russell Brand is talking about certain politics and gives you the truth, but at the same time he's vegan or vegetarian, which will, of course, dilute you completely and bring you away from the truth. So this is what I noticed. If you really look into it, you will notice that too. Just have a look. Once people start talking about a variety of subjects, giving you truths in variety of subjects, then it becomes extremely, extremely problematic. And now, yet again, with Islam, I'm of course not surprised at all, because Islam, if you at least represent it correctly, is a major threat, of course, to the society. And that's what people told me. Just look into the media is against Islam, is against Islam. Not really. They actually love Islam because they can use it as a topic. They don't really love Islam. They love the topic of Islam, right? Or what they want you to believe about Islam. So therefore, they can tell you about terrorism, no worries, right? And then they can tell you about some liberalized version of Islam. For example, there is this Blair Imani, which I just saw. She's a queer Muslim, an LGBT Muslim. So apparently that exists as well. Not really, of course, but those are things that they don't mind talking about. So the media is always about confusion, just giving you all kinds of informations that will then confuse you. So it's not only against Islam, of course it will be against real Islam, that is for sure, but it's not necessarily only against it, it's neither for it. It's only for entertainment. Entertainment is another word for confusing you and keeping you in that spiral. Anyways, thank you very much for the super chat. That's all I can say here for now. Now I have to cover myself again. I don't have those privileges here. Maybe if I get the silver play button now, maybe then I will get the privilege to speak a bit more. I don't think so. Okay. Let me scroll back. Javid, thank you very much again, brother. Have you tried Ukrainian dishes like chicken Kiev? Yes, I have. Borscht? I have not. And cabbage dumplings. Yes, cabbage dumplings. What was the name again? It wasn't blinis, right? It was something else. Pirogi, right? Pirogi, I believe. So yeah, I tried them too. I heard the cabbage grows sweet in Ukraine. Yeah, to be honest, we have that too. Yeah, I totally forgot. That's not like that in the rest of the world. So on the Balkan, we have very sweet cabbage as well. We can use that for sweet-ish dishes too. True. Yeah. Those dishes, they're not very different than dishes you can eat on the Balkan. So Ukrainian dishes wouldn't be so far out for us. I definitely tried them before. Delicious. Verlith donated 20 euros. Thank you so much, Verlith. And by the way, bro, you're not gonna be too happy with me, but I actually recorded a video. I responded to Come Back to Allah by Hamza Yusuf. A little spoiler here. I wasn't too impressed with it, man. Not too impressed with it. But I know that you loved that video. Anyways, I reacted to it, so God willing, this week it should get online. Congrats on the 100k plaque. This channel is my favorite on YouTube. It's as if I'm reliving my own experience again up to the point of accepting Islam, i.e. ex-Orthodox, ex-vegan. Don't forget the Just Come Back to Allah vid. Yeah, as I just said, bro, I reacted to it, but it didn't hit me. Quite the opposite. It kind of triggered certain different thought patterns. As always, I give you a completely unfiltered reaction, so yeah, you'll see it. I felt a bit bad because I know you've been recommending this video for so long, and I would have liked to give you a positive response to it, reaction to it. But yeah, I wasn't too impressed, I have to admit. Nevertheless, thank you very much for the video, thank you very much for the donation. And that's so cool to see, man, that you've been Orthodox as well, vegan as well. That's what I said in the beginning. As long as we share our journey honestly, then we will attract people that have the exact same mindset or very, very similar to it. And that's where the worth comes in for me personally. That's where the value comes in for me personally. That's what I always loved about YouTube, as I said, that you can actually connect with people that have the same perspective. That's amazing, right? That being said, nowadays, not so much any longer on YouTube. But it still has been good. It still has been good. Javid, thank you very much again, brother. Congrats on 100k subs. Now hope you make 100k bucks. Yeah, God willing, bro. That would be awesome. Thank you so much, man. Because then I can fly business class as well, bro. See you in the business class. Javid only flies business class. Yeah, I'll try. I'll give it my best. That's the next step. Verlith donated again 10 euros. Thank you so much, Verlith. The conversation you had with Sheikh Uthman was amazing. Do you have plans to have podcasts, etc., other than reaction videos? This channel is so real and authentic. Love your stuff, Bobby. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Bro, that's what I want to do. I just got set up, and now slowly but surely I actually want to bring on people here and interview them. It has been just so hectic lately, and I know you cannot really see it, and I don't want to complain all the time, but I still have the kurats, you know, so the virus. It's unbelievable. So for the past half year, if you've been following this channel, I've been more sick than healthy. It's insane. So now I went to a blood test, got that screened. Now I'm going to go through further screening. God protect us all. I don't know what's going on. And yeah, if everything is fine, then God willing, we will continue here on this channel with interviews as well. That's definitely what I want to bring in here. I really liked talking to Sheikh Uthman. We're still in contact, by the way. Really, really cool guy. Love him. And yeah, pretty soon, God willing, we will have another special guest on the channel. So we already have something set up. So yeah, I hope that very, very soon we'll be speaking to another person here live on YouTube. Thank you so much, Verdith. How do I pronounce this? Faisal Ayashe. The truth has become an arbitrary term. Sneeko, for example, claims to have the truth, yet I can't seem to understand what truth he has other than that we are being brainwashed. The Quran is the only objective truth we have. Much love, Bobby. Congrats on 100k. Thank you very much, brother. Yeah, I would say that the truth, I would go so far to say that the truth is only God. Right? So anything else might be even if it comes down to revelation, and even if we accept that it is the word of God, I would still say that the truth, the core truth, is only within God. That's my personal experience, that's my personal perspective. If I'm wrong here from an Islamic stance, then please correct me, of course. But that's how I see it. I perceive only God as being ultimately real, the ultimate reality, al-haq, and being the truth. So when we're talking about truth here in this world, it is still a bit arbitrary to a sense, but nevertheless, as long as we are pointing to God, I believe that we are speaking truth, right? Because all truth comes from God. That's how I see it. But that being said, only by pointing the finger and saying, hey, everybody's brainwashed, or society is like such and such, and women are like this, and men are like that, that is of course not speaking truth. When I speak about truth, what I mean by that is pointing people towards God first and foremost, that's the only solution, and then from there out on, speaking about political truths, geopolitical truths of course, and very, very important, dietary truths of course, because diet controls your biology. If you mess that up, everything else suffers, really, really important. And then further into social truths, right? Let's say dynamic between the sexes, truth, etc., you name it. So it all flows, of course, from God, but there are certain parameters that then can be discussed. But as I said, if you discuss them all, you get deleted. I tried. Believe me, I tried. Javid, thank you very much again, brother. How's the chicken Kiev? It looks like a chicken in a corn dog. Yeah, have you had schnitzel? Have you had cordon bleu? It's a bit like that. So that's how it tastes. Nothing really outrageously crazy. It's like a battered chicken, basically. Kind of nice, but nothing crazy. Yeah. Okay, anyways, man, I said I want to respond to many, many chats today, and now I went to the super chats. Thank you so much, everybody. Now I'm going to try to respond to the chats here. If you want to support, as always, of course you can. The links are in the chat box. You can support via super chat or Streamlabs donation. Thank you so much. Welcome to the channel. We have a new member as well, the Rakan. Welcome to the channel. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much for subscribing. Appreciate it. By the way, all the members here can still see all my old live streams. So those are still on, but they're just for the member section. Nobody else can see them. And that is not due to me wanting to make a quick buck, because honestly you can become a member just for $1. It is because I cannot keep them online, because YouTube strikes them. So the old live streams where I was still much more unfiltered, they're still on, but only for the member section, nobody else. Okay, anyways, let me get into the chat. 1 second, guys. Let me actually open it up on my phone. Okay, by the way, today I'm not going to stay for 2 hours straight, I don't think so. It is a midweek stream, and I just want to say thank you very much. And tonight, we have already another video lined up. So God willing, should come on in 1 hour. There he is. Okay, now let me get into the chat. Let me see. Thank you for everything, says the Rakan. No, thank you guys. Thank you very much. Hey Bobby, what do you answer to those who say you are just growing your channel, playing this Islamic reaction thing? How do you show your sincerity to your journey to the truth? That's a very good question, but let me just take a sip of water. This is not water, this is electrolyte. Believe it or not, I noticed that I'm so heavily dehydrated here. And because, as I've been battling lately with health, I'm actually drinking electrolytes now to see how that will affect me. So now, your question was, how would I show sincerity to people that think that I'm just doing this for clicks or for money or whatnot? I don't. It's that simple. I just don't, because you cannot convince people either way. If people are convinced online, they do not know you, they do not know who you are, they do not know your heart, you cannot convince them anyways. So I wouldn't even try, to be totally honest, right? So, but that being said, I personally said it from the get-go. I was doing my own research here on this channel, and you can just, if you're not lazy that is, go through the whole channel and see my development on this channel, right? I document everything, and the videos that I was able to keep, many got deleted, they're still online. And there you see how I started out as a raw vegan, veganism, carnivore, primal, whatnot, back forth, spirituality, all of that, religion. So the last step on this channel, aside from the vegan reaction videos, but was orthodoxy. So I was already speaking about Christian orthodoxy all the time, and I was searching deep within my faith, and that's what I discussed here on this channel, all right? So ultimately, as I said, I started reading the Quran, and this flipped the whole script. But nevertheless, we are still within the religious arc of Bobby's perspective, if you will, and nothing really changed, other than that orthodoxy, for me, was confusing due to the Trinity, to put it very, very blankly. And then I moved further and started reading the Quran, which clarified oh so much to me. So, that being said, with the Quran, I was very, very clarified within myself. However, then looking at the religion of Islam, looking at the Muslims, I had more questions, right? Because if you just read the Quran, or rather you read the translation of the Quran in English, okay, what do you do now, right? Then you start looking to the outside, because I believe that the Quran has an internal effect. But then you start looking to the outside, and then you see how other Muslims practice the religion, or how they have been practicing it before you ever even looked into it. And so now this is where the videos come into play. So I said to myself, yeah, you know what, I'm just going to start watching some Islamic content on YouTube, because I haven't done that before. Before that I was just watching anti-Islamic content by David Wood, etc. So I started doing that, and then people started posting under my Quranic video and said, hey man, why don't you react to Islamic videos? And I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to watch them anyways. Up until now, I've been reacting to vegan videos mainly, and certain other topics that I cannot do anymore, unfortunately. So I said, okay, might as well react then to them, but I hope you can see it, right? I'm reacting to them the way that I am watching them. So it's not like I'm putting on an act, and I've seen it on YouTube too. People, oh, ooh, oh. Yeah, no, I'm just watching those videos, and we watch them together. So I said it clearly from the get-go. If you want to be part of me learning about Islam, then let's watch them together. It's awesome. And so I got so much feedback from you guys, which was mind-blowing, to be totally honest, because all of a sudden so many Muslims reached out to me, and they told me that they learned through me about their own religion. And I thought, wow, that's really amazing. I didn't think I will ever be in such a position. And then what's even crazier to me personally is many Christians, or now ex-Christians, reached out to me, and they told me that I actually was the reason for them converting, which is absolutely mind-blowing to me, because I'm not even Muslim, right? So yeah, anyways, back to the question. I'm not here to convince anybody either way. If you really want to understand me as much as you can online, then go through my whole channel and check out what I've been doing and what I'm doing here on this channel. So there is no real shift in it, right? That's just me doing literally what I always have been doing here on this channel, Bobby's Perspective, just sharing what I'm into at the moment. So if I am into whatever, race cars in the future, then I would do videos about race cars. That's it. That's just how I tick. So at the moment, I'm absolutely obsessed with Islam. I love researching further. And yes, so we can just watch them together. That being said, right now, we're doing a 100K celebration. So is it meaningful to me? Does it mean something to me to have 100K followers? Yes, of course it does. Right, as I said, 6 years on YouTube. It's absolutely beautiful, of course. So that you can do something that you like, and then with that, you gain subscribers. That's awesome. Of course it's awesome. I'm not going to pretend that it's not. Everybody that is creating content would really appreciate more people watching their content. Duh. If you don't, then you're a liar as well, right? So yeah, for me it's a win-win situation. I'm learning, you guys are learning apparently as well. The YouTube channel is growing too. It's fantastic. So everybody's winning. I love it. That would be my answer. Okay. Bobby, du musst dich nicht rechtfertigen. So Vanessa says, I don't have to justify myself. No, it's not a justification, it was a question, so here's my answer. Ultimately, yet again, that was funny to me too. So sometimes people say, oh, why do you interrupt that video all the time? It's really annoying. I want to watch the whole video, and then I want to hear your summary of that video. If that's what you want me to do, then you're not going to get it, first and foremost. And secondly, then just watch another YouTube channel. Or, even better, I always try to link the video in the description box. So just watch the original video. If you just want to watch the original video, just watch that, right? So this here is about me reacting to certain videos. So yeah, it's really funny to me. Verlith super chatted again, thank you very much, bro. Bobby the realist on YouTube, and it's your authenticity that people gravitate towards. Be unapologetical yourself. Thank you very much, bro. Yeah, as I said. So that's how I am, and I cannot be any other way. That's the issue, because as I said, for people that really want to make a business out of YouTube, there are different ways for that. And it's not by being authentic. It really is not. It's by essentially just giving you some sort of entertainment quickly. That works much better on YouTube, right? But for me, the motivation was always a different one. And one main reason as well is that I, watching YouTube 6 years ago, really loved to see people that are authentically themselves on YouTube, because those people I resonated with. And as I said, it was just YouTube and mainstream media. So at mainstream media, you had those scripted actors, basically, and I was really fascinated by it to see that, okay, on YouTube we actually have normal people. That's so cool. But of course, YouTube became a cesspool, and now it's full with not so normal people any longer, unfortunately. But yeah, I thought that this is the greatest gift that we had for humanity, really. I thought YouTube is so cool, man, that everybody can just have their little show and talk about what they go through. That's amazing. I really like that. It was so human, right? But now it goes away from humanity again, unfortunately. That's the nature of things. I'm not going to be here changing that. But nevertheless, I'm going to keep it real, bro. At least I try here on this platform. Thank you so much, everybody, again. Okay. Great stream. Thank you very much. Bobby kann einfach Deutsch, ja, natürlich. Bobby kann Deutsch. Je parle un peu français aussi. Zbori mi makedonski. Pričam i srpski. That's about it, no? I have to learn Thai now. Bobby, will you start doing Quran recitation reactions? Yeah, possibly. I did already a few. I might do some in the future. We'll see. Can you tell us what today's video is about? Yes, sure, of course. Today's video Actually, 1 second. Let me give you a sneak peek. I'll try at least. I'm going to show you the thumbnail. 1 second. For that I have to find the thumbnail. Here we go. That's it. Okay. 1 second, guys. Here it is. Here it comes. Boomer Bobby is setting it up. Here we are. So that's the thumbnail. Yeah. What do we see here? Huh? You can already imagine. So yeah, that's the video of today. Really interesting, I have to say. I don't want to spoil it too much, but this really changed my mind about a thing or two. Bobby, why do you call yourself still a Christian if you don't believe in the Trinity and that Jesus is not God? Because, believe it or not, within Christianity we do have sects as well, or perspectives as well, that hold that position, right? So you can still be a Christian. They're called Unitarian Christians. There is such a thing as well. I make the statement that the earliest Christians were Unitarian, so therefore by that default I will still see myself as a Christian. Moreover, I have to say that the layman, especially from the Balkan, does not think about God in a Trinity. No chance. I talked about this in extent previously, so we grew up believing in one God and not in three. So we thought that our religion implies that. But unfortunately, it does not. So therefore, yeah, it is still considered Christianity if you hold certain values and you do not believe in Jesus as God or in the Trinity. You are still considered a Christian, but not necessarily an Orthodox Christian any longer. So that is something that I want to clarify as well. People that claim that I want to change Orthodoxy, how outrageous would that be? I cannot even change it. Why? How would I change Orthodoxy? It's completely impossible. I'm not some sort of archbishop or something. I'm a layman, and I am very well aware that if I do not agree with the core doctrines of Orthodoxy, by default, I'm not Orthodox in that sense anymore, or rather, I'm not part of the church anymore. I understand that, but culturally, I'm always Orthodox. There's nothing I can do about it. Harun donated $2. Thank you very much. And again, I'm trying to pronounce your name, Faisal Aisha. Thank you so much again. You're right, the only truth is Allah. Allah is the only thing that truly is. I agree. And everything else exists because Allah wills it. When I said Quran is the only objective truth we have, it is because Allah tells us that it is the criterion, our tool to use. Yes, exactly, a tool to use to see truth or find truth, right? That leads you to God. That's how I see it as well. And I find it very powerful what you said there. I share the same opinion that Allah, God, is the only thing that is, and everything else is contingent upon His existence. So God is the only real existence, and everything else isn't. Because ultimately, if you really think about it, that God always was, always will be, is eternal, is existence Himself, then everything else that experiences a temporary existence cannot be real and cannot truly be even. It is fleeting temporarily in this relative time span, and then it's gone, poof, right? And God never is. So unmovable, unshakable, the only truth, the only reality in that sense. I absolutely agree. Beautiful. Hello, Babar. Oh, sorry, Bobby. How are you? Congratulations for 100k. Much love from Pakistan. Much love, brother. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We did it, guys. We did it. We had 100k. I'm waiting for that silver play button, YouTube. Let's go. Unbelievable. Really unbelievable. I never thought this will actually happen at some point. Did your view has changed about Islam? Yeah, of course. But that's what I always say here on this channel. Of course it has changed 1,000-fold. MD Safan Alvi says, Ya Allah, I wish I had Super Chat in my country. If you don't have Super Chat, then you can use Streamlabs. So, as I said in the chat box, this blue button there where you see my name. There you can click on the link, and this is external to Super Chat, this is external to YouTube even, and there you can donate via Streamlabs. So this definitely works from every country as far as I know. Jellyfish Super Chatted 10 Schweizer Franken, Dankeschön. Assalamu alaikum, happy 100k, alaikum salam, thank you very much, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much. Amazing. Saya says I have to catch up on your videos. I think you can reach out to them. Yeah, thank you for catching up. It's a very, very different subject at the moment. So at the moment we're not in dietary niches at all. Alex, greetings from Bulgaria, brother. Greetings, bro. What is your opinion on the current relations between Bulgaria and Northern Macedonia? Will there come a day when Macedonia will be ruled not by Serbs or any of their puppets? Only God knows, brother. Honestly, I have to say for myself, I talked about this subject briefly for a year or so, and I just lost motivation. I went to Macedonia myself, and the brainwashing is absolutely horrendous. I am always an optimist, so therefore in the end I believe the truth will prevail either way. Right now we are in a time frame where it seems impossible. That doesn't mean that it will be impossible in the future. But at the moment it's very, very demotivating for me personally. I am the type of guy, if you will, that once I found the truth for myself, I don't necessarily need to shout it from the rooftop. So if somebody asks me, I speak my truth 100%. But I've seen people so heavily invested and so emotionally invested in Macedonism that you cannot really pull them out of it at all. And for those people, I simply have to say that I really don't care. So just do your thing. Up for you guys. I know the truth, and for me, it is the truth, and I don't want to listen to further Macedonian propaganda. I believe that at some point it will all be clarified and people will understand who they truly are. I really hope so. I don't even understand why people want to cling to their Macedonian identity so strongly. Especially, I know that this is maybe not so interesting for Bulgarian people at the moment, but for me personally, through the religious pursuit and looking into Islam and understanding the social dynamics of Islam and seeing how nations that are under Islam cooperate with other Islamic nations, I thought to myself, wow, we Christians, we could learn quite a lot of it, because Macedonia and Bulgaria, if they see themselves as something differently, hey, at least they're both Orthodox countries, right? So they should love themselves, love each other rather, on that basis. But they certainly do not, or at least Macedonia does not love Bulgaria. And it's quite disappointing and annoying to see as well, to be totally honest. It's just so much conditioning, and at some point I'm asking myself, is it even worth it, right? Is it even worth it? Is it really my fight? That's how I'm thinking about it. I'm in Thailand here. I'm not living in Macedonia, so I'm not living in Bulgaria either. And if that would change in the future, then of course I would see it my responsibility. But at the moment I'm at such heavy place that I'm thinking to myself, okay, then up to you to believe it, right? Do what you will. If you really want to stay in that delusion, good luck. Stick with it. It's definitely not for me. It's very, very annoying to see. I'm not an Alexandrovsky, right? I don't believe that Alexander the Great was my ancestor and I have to defend him. I couldn't care less. So I personally am interested in other things at the moment. But nevertheless, as I said, in the end, the future, we will see what will happen. The truth always prevails, in my opinion. Okay. 1 second. Let me just adjust something real quick. Okay, fantastic. We had another super chat by Harun. Thank you so much. How does Shia Sunni history even affect Islam? Yeah, that's a good question. Talking to Shias and Sunnis alike, what I personally came to the conclusion to, but this is just, again, my own perspective, you can correct me if I'm wrong. The way that I see Islam, the submission to God, I see it as something that predates, obviously, Shiism and even Sunnism, right? Ultimately, it predates that schism, and ultimately, it should even predate Muhammad himself. right? If we believe that Islam is the truth, then we have to believe that it predates Muhammad, that it started with Adam, ultimately, because that is the Islamic claim, that the submission to God is the true religion. That's it. Then the rest, when we're talking about the law that Muhammad brought, the Sharia, that is another topic even. Of course, it is part of modern day Islam in itself, surely, but at the same time, the religion, the submission to God, is not only that, right? It kind of predates that as well. And therefore, how does it even affect Islam? That's a good question. I personally believe that it does not affect the true core of the religion of Islam, which is Islam. But nevertheless, nowadays, if you get identified, either way, I believe, with those sects and with those schools of thought, then you could potentially, that's my opinion, potentially risk that you get away from the real Islam. That's how I see it at the moment. Thank you very much for the super chat. And Sire, yes, I'm back in Thailand again. Packed up my family, the wife and kid, and now we are back in Thailand. Haven't vlogged anything, but God willing, I should very, very soon. At the moment, I'm just settling here, sorting everything out, living the daddy life. But yes, I'm back in Thailand. Islam explains to us that belief is natural and it can draw to a person just by thinking and pondering, even if that person is all alone living in a cave. Yeah, I would agree. Absolutely. Okay, I'm gonna save those video recommendations. Čestitam na 100k pratilaca, abonenta. Bobby, zasluženo. Hvala lijepo. Appreciate it. Jesus didn't preach Christianity. Yeah, that's a fact. Jesus didn't preach Christianity. It would be very strange if he did. Hello, hello. Good to see you guys in the chat. Hey guys, I'm just going through the chat. As I said, today, really, thank you very much for the super chats, Streamlabs. I appreciate it. But for the celebration, I want to respond to as many chats as I can. So if I'm getting quiet for a second or two, I'm really trying to find questions here because I see we have a lot of discussions within the chat box. Which part of Thailand are you in, bro? Please visit Malaysia. I've been to Malaysia before and absolutely loved it. Malaysia was the first country, for me personally, where I had a very, very positive experience with Muslims. So that being said, now looking back, I believe that my prejudice didn't allow me to have a better time around Muslim people. But when I got to Southeast Asia, I was already so overwhelmed by the friendliness of the Asians, because Asians are so extremely friendly, man. And then when I got to Malaysia, for me it wasn't much different than Thailand, other than that it was Muslim, right? And then I had so many Muslim Asians, or Asian Muslims, reach out to me there and invite us to little picnics and whatnot, and it was absolutely beautiful and so unexpected to me. So I really couldn't even believe that Muslims can be so nice. But yet again, that's my own prejudice and something that I came to terms with. But I have to say Malaysia was an absolutely amazing country. The thing that I love about Malaysia the most, I have to admit though, is the durian, the Musang King especially. I'm a huge durian connoisseur and I cannot wait to come back to Malaysia, hopefully for the durian season. So if I'm not wrong, the durian season, we should be past it right now, right? I believe next year, April, somewhat on those lines. So yeah, I hope I can make it back to Malaysia, God willing, and then definitely eat a lot of durian. Marwan Jafri says, congrats Bobby on 100k, may God bless you and us and show us the right path. Regards. Thank you very much, brother. Absolutely. May he guide us. who's your favorite fighter? I wouldn't say I have a favorite fighter. Back in the day, I was a huge supporter of Alistair Overeem. I really enjoyed Overeem. The Dutch kickboxing was amazing. But yeah, I don't have one favorite fighter. I just enjoy fighting in general. And even looking at Conor McGregor, what he has done for the sport was absolutely amazing. And he made it bigger than ever before. Absolutely insane what he did to the UFC. One-man army, man, I have to say. So even he was absolutely fun to watch. I appreciate it. I would say, if you ask me who's the best fighter of all time, it has to be John Jones. People want to blame it on steroids now. To be honest, I share the opinion of Nate Diaz that everybody is on steroids in the pro leagues. So no big deal for me personally. I don't think he had an unfair advantage. Absolute specimen, John Jones, best fighter of all time. At the moment, who do I enjoy the most watching? Must be Hamza Chimaev. Hamza Chimaev is hands down the most entertaining to watch. Okay, let me scroll down. Fighting is haram, hitting in the face. Yeah, absolutely. It is. If you look into interviews with Khabib, he admits it himself. He says, yes, of course it's haram. But there's certain things that people will do either way, right? I don't know how haram certain things, or let me put it like that, that's actually a question that I would have. Because I believe that we would all agree that Khabib is a devout Muslim, and that he's a good representative of Islam as well, I would say, with his stoic approach. But then he's fighting, right? And this would be considered haram. I know about boxers in Germany. They used to be boxers, and then they converted to Islam, or they found back to Islam, and they quit boxing altogether. So my question would be here, ultimately, when we're talking about haram and halal, and the lay person, so somebody that has to make a living, is a regular person, how is it seen in Islamic jurisprudence, which is called fiqh, I believe, fiqh, something like that? What would be the stance of the Islamic world when it comes down to fighting, when it comes down to Khabib? Because even in Abu Dhabi, we have the UFC, right? So how is that reconciled? I would really like to hear your opinion on that, because I just don't know. For example, within Christianity, we have monks, right? We have priests. And for those monks and priests, of course, they will practice certain things to an extreme. And the lay person is not even asked to do those things at all, right? And this is what I really like to know. Ultimately, and when it comes down to fighting, as an example, is it so sinful that it has to be forbidden for the lay person, or is it something that even within an Islamic society could exist? I would like to understand. Are you here in Abu Dhabi? No, I'm not. No, I just know that the UFC is in Abu Dhabi. I would like to visit though. That's why he said he's doing more wrestling. Yeah, exactly. Thank you again, Jellyfish. Appreciate it. My green screen is kind of giving out a little bit, huh? There we go. We are all sinners, and the best sinners are those who repent. Fiqh is very complicated to discuss, determine, without deep knowledge into it. Yeah, that's what I'm asking. I have absolutely no idea, right? That's what I'm asking. For me, it's very fascinating. And one thing people always ask me, why didn't you convert already, etc., etc. I don't want to talk about that whole thing now, but an aspect here that is very interesting to me, and at the same time brings even more questions. Because if we're talking about Islamic jurisprudence, and we're talking about Islamic laws, I asked that Sheikh Uthman, and I said, if I would convert, what am I signing up for? And people found it kind of funny, but I really mean this. Because, for example, let's say I live in Germany, right? And let's say we promote Islam, and I convert, cool. But we're still under the Bundesrepublik Deutschland, we're still under German laws. But now we keep on promoting it, and more people convert to Islam, and at some point it becomes a Muslim majority country, and Germany decides to become Muslim. They decide to become not only Muslim, but imply Sharia. So I know there are different interpretations yet again when it comes down to the Sharia, how should it be implied, etc., etc. But that would be my question. How would life then change? Because if we truly believe in Islam and we believe in the Sharia, then we must believe that the Sharia would be the best thing that can ever happen to us. It would be the godly law implied in our societies. It couldn't be any better than this, right? So if we are Muslims then, every German, and we all believe in the Quran, and we believe in all the hadiths, and we believe that Sharia is the best way to go, my question would be, how does it then actually look like in implication, right, in Germany? And that is something that I would like to ask scholars, of course, because for me then, the question becomes, okay, do we now ban all fighting sporting events, all fighting schools? For example, this is really considered completely haram. So do we now proceed and we shut down every musical institute? There is no music whatsoever anymore. This is haram as well. We shut down dog shelters. We don't help street dogs anymore. We kill them all, etc., etc. So depending on the interpretation, right? But those are honest questions. I really mean this. And what kind of world would we then create due to our core belief? And is that then a world that I would say is representative of God? Do I actually appreciate that? Because this was a critique point coming from anti-Muslims, anti-Islamists rather. And they would always attack Muslims and tell them that, hey, you are actually not even Muslim by the definition of Islam. If it would come down to real Islamic implementation rather, then you wouldn't even like that Islam, right? So therefore, I knew one German Muslim, ex-Muslim, who would claim those are Shisha Muslims that are not really representative of the true Islam. If true Islam would reign, everybody would have to wear the niqab, for example, right? There would be no face of any woman seen any longer, etc., etc. So this is why I'm interested in the law sets of Islam. I would really like to understand it more before I could say, okay, this is actually a good idea for all of humanity to imply all of those laws. Thank you very much, Yasmin, for 30, is this Turkish lira? Not too sure. Either way, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And thank you very much, Jellyfish, again, brother. We still would have problems, just different ones, but the biggest implication is that we won't have the wrath of Allah. Yeah, I understand that we would essentially break out. The way that I understood the Quran as well, looking at it, is that we go through this repetitive cycle of falling with our society further and further into sin, and then we have to restart again. And the Quran kind of came as a warning to actually bring us out of that. That's how I saw it. Because if you look at Sodom and Gomorrah, and this is what the Quran talks about, how they've been wiped out, right? And it seems to happen over and over and over and over again. Empires keep on falling, they're being wiped out. And if we don't establish God's law on earth, this will happen over and over and over again. And this makes sense to me. So therefore I would understand that. But at the same time, I'm wondering if all the interpretations of Sharia are then correct, because we have different schools of thought, and then yet again you have Shia, Sunni, etc., etc. So I would really like to understand what the true law of God then would be, how that really looks like. How can we truly know? Yeah. Harun, super chat, $5, thank you very much. The Prophet Muhammad wrestled on one of the best wrestlers in Arabia and beat him. I'm not a scholar, but to fight wars you have to train, God knows best. Yeah, that would be my question as well, because you need to train to fight, ultimately, in order to have soldiers, right? Yeah. Bobby, these are good questions you're asking. There are many examples to look to into history and in the world today to understand how Sharia law is implemented. Yeah, that is correct. But I'm wondering always if Sharia is anywhere really implemented, because when you Google it, let's Google it together. Why not? Let's check this out. Countries with Sharia. Sharia law. Okay. So let's check it out. Here we go. 1 second. Here we are. Fantastic. Okay, so more items. I like this, I just get kicked out. Okay, so we have Afghanistan. I believe that. Afghanistan seems really like there is Sharia implemented from what I've seen. Bahrain, I don't know where that is. Bangladesh, on the other hand, I don't know. Is it really? Brunei, as far as I know, definitely not. I've seen people vlogging in Brunei. It didn't look like Sharia. India, where? Indonesia, I've been there. And that's what I'm wondering about such statements, especially because Indonesia, allegedly, due to Google here, there is Sharia, but is it fully implemented? I don't think so, because from what I saw in Indonesia, it didn't look like it to me personally. But then yet again, maybe I'm simply interpreting it wrongly and I have no idea how Sharia should be implemented because I'm not a scholar, right? So I don't know if there is a softer version of Sharia or not. So please let me know what you guys think. If Sharia is implemented, for example, in Indonesia, or is there any country at the moment where Sharia is truly implemented? Please let me know in the chat and we can discuss it, because this is really what I'm wondering about. If we truly believe in the religion 100%, then we need to believe in the law set 100% as well. We need it for the child predators, yeah, that's for sure. Thank you very much, Below the Lens, for the donation. Appreciate it, bro. Thank you so much. No country in the world is currently run by Sharia. Some of them are applying parts of it, but not entirely. Okay, and now my question would be, again, I am fully aware that nobody here is a scholar, but let's just have a chat, and then further questions I will have to ask scholars, of course. If there is not one single country where Sharia is implemented correctly, my question would be simply, why? If we yet again believe that the Quran is the truth, the Hadiths are the truth, or they're correct, why wouldn't we like to implement God's law? I don't get it. So please let me know why. Thank you so much, guys. Gonna read it out in a second. Thank you. Actually, I'm gonna read it out right now. Below the Lens asks, can you react to Imam Tom Facine, The Purpose of Life? Yeah, I've seen a video or two of his, so yeah, God willing, I will definitely check it out. I like the guy, seems knowledgeable. Jellyfish, thank you again, brother. According to Sheikh Uthman, there is no country which fully has implemented it into society. The point is, Sharia would only be one part of what a society needs. Less time now. Okay, thank you very much. I'm trying to understand it. So the point is, Sharia would only be one part of what a society needs. So one thing that society needs is God, of course. The other side could be then the Sharia. But yet again, my honest question is simply, if it is true, if people see themselves as Muslim and they would like to be in an Islamic country, why wouldn't you imply Sharia fully? I'm really wondering. Yeah, I need a clarification for that. I really do. Nevertheless, thank you very much, Jellyfish, for the donations. I absolutely appreciate it, brother. Verlith, 10 euros. Malaysia. The mosques in Bali are unbelievable. I never went into. Asian culture with Islam and Habib. He now has to do more good deeds than his sins, is how I interpret it. Ah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, so first and foremost, I only saw Buddhist temples. I didn't go to the mosques. For me, back then they were still the enemy, so I didn't check them out at all. And about Habib, now that he has to basically repent and do more good deeds, I understand, but at the same time, he runs a fighting organization, so he will proceed with the same thing, right? There are certain questions I have. Okay. In hadiths, the Prophet said, rightly guided Islamic governments would not last, but they be followed by some lesser form of Islamic government, which also ends and be followed by a period in which, and that breaks off, unfortunately. Saudi Arabia is not 100% Sharia. I saw the video of Halloween. Yeah, I saw that too. Pretty crazy, man. Because of Western colonization and they're still in control, so they try to force their laws in the weaker countries like mine, which is in North Africa. Yeah, I understand that too, for sure. It's all political. Okay. Yeah, would make sense to me. Would you think that there is a motivation, however, that people would like to implement the Sharia? Thank you very much again, Jasmine. Appreciate it. What do you guys think? Would you believe that in reality those Islamic countries do want to implement Sharia? Would they prefer it? Okay, let me just adjust something. And guys, I'm gonna be tuning out soon, so 5 more minutes or so. I just want to make a quick stop. Actually, I just want to do 1 hour, but now we're already at 1 hour 30. I just want to thank everybody. And so therefore, very, very soon I will be tuning out. We're gonna be live again, God willing, on Sunday, hopefully. And in 20 minutes... Actually, yeah. That's when I'm gonna be offline the latest, because in 18 minutes a new video is coming online. So I don't want to stream at the same time either. Bruder, kannst du dir bitte nach dem Stream Iman TV ansehen? Ich habe davon gehört, aber ich habe es noch nicht gesehen. Thank you very much. I think Qatar will. Maybe. Islam, the Quran and the Sunnah are for our time, but Christianity came for the people before our time. Might be. Please follow Numan Ali Khan's work to understand Quran deeply, or rather to taste its beauty. Yeah, I really like the guy. I think he's doing a great job. For sure. Endlich Deutsch. Ja, endlich. It's hilarious. The correct Sharia will be implemented by Jesus in his second coming, inshallah. Yeah, might be. If we believe that eschatology, it could be. So maybe he will come with the real implementation and we will know. Wouldn't that be the Mahdi? The Mahdi? The Mahdi? I don't know how you pronounce it. That brings that law set. I'm not too sure. Yeah, stop spamming, guys. Hassan says, Bobby, you're one of the few people on YouTube who does reactions to Islamic videos that I feel is really sincere, but please, if you're convinced, don't procrastinate, cause life is not guaranteed. Guys, again, if I would be fully convinced, let me just clarify this. If I would be fully convinced, then I would be Muslim and that's it, right? But as I always point out, there are certain aspects. Thank you very much. I'll read out in a second. There are certain aspects that I'm really unsure about, and that's why I keep on doing my research. That's it. So if I would be fully convinced, no worries. I would convert right away. Abdullah says, it's easy to see why Sharia not implemented in all aspects. People run countries. Sharia may go against a lot of worldly political interests. Also, the Prophet mentioned this in many hadiths. Yeah, absolutely. I read that already kind of here in the chat, that ultimately there's too much political interest, and I believe geopolitical interest because of certain corporations, NGOs, etc., you name it, that it wouldn't be feasible for those countries to implement Sharia. Makes sense. Thank you very much, brother. The use of fiat money is against Sharia law, part of riba. Yeah, 100%. Bobby, before you sign off, what advice would you have for YouTubers now that you hit 100K? Would love some wise words from you. Yeah, my wise words, as I mentioned in the beginning of the live stream, would be don't do it like me. Because ultimately, if you would like to get to 100K faster, then choose one specific topic and stick with it. And see yourself rather as some intermediary, some type of messenger slash news reporter on that topic in order to attract as many people as possible, if that is your goal. For me, as I said in the beginning, YouTube was never that. For me, it was an outlet for creativity. It was simply a speaking platform that I loved to use, especially back in the day before all of that censorship, in which I could simply speak my mind. So wise words would be, don't do it like myself. It took me 6 years to get to 100K. For some people this is slow, for some people this is fast. For me personally, it's just absolutely beautiful that in the end, here we are, right? I started as Bobby's Perspective, now we're still here as Bobby's Perspective. I didn't call it six packs, shortcuts or whatever. But this would have been the smarter choice if you do YouTube simply for that reason. So yet again, for example, if you want to check certain dietary advice, I'm sure you have certain YouTube channels that talk only about diet. You have other channels that talk only about medicine, other channels that talk only about cars. So if there is a channel that you follow and that channel talks only about cars, and all of a sudden it talks about bicycles, it would be annoying to you because you simply click on that channel for cars and that's all you want to know, right? And that's why my channel was always very diversified and I always talk about what I have on my mind, and then a few months or a year later, all of a sudden I talk about something else. And that's how you do not gain many subscribers usually. But nevertheless, my intention, as I said from the get-go, was to attract like-minded people, because that's what YouTube is and always was for me. An outlet where people can be authentic, and an outlet where you can actually meet people that are on the same wavelength and have the same perspective, right? And that's what I was looking for. And this is why I did it the way that I did it. So therefore I do not regret it, because I didn't do YouTube in order to make a buck from it. Now we're at a point where we actually do have some revenue here, and it's awesome. I really love it. It's great. And we have 100K. Cool. Here, thumbs up. Maybe I'm gonna get a silver play button now. If YouTube wants to send that thing to me, we will see. But yeah, my advice would be, if you really just want to do YouTube for the sake of money, then you would have to pick one niche and stick with it. But at the same time, if you just do it for money, then you probably would quit anyways, because it's not sustainable. You don't really like it. Then do something else, right? I always like to talk. In my group of friends, I was the guy that could never shut up, and I would always talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. So I just took that passion of talking to YouTube, and now I'm talking here. And for me, that's awesome. It's amazing. It's mind-blowing, actually, that led to 100K now. It's really crazy, and I'm really looking forward to see what will happen in the future. So my wise words are, if you don't like YouTube to begin with, then don't do it at all. If you want to be smart about it and you want to attract a big audience, a big following, then stick with one niche and one niche only, and upload every single day videos about nutrition or videos about cars, and stick with that. Rather open up a second channel as well if you want to talk about something differently. That's what I would recommend. But ultimately, for me, it worked out just talking about whatever I want to talk. And in 6 years, I made it to 100K, thanks to you guys. All right, and with that, I would say we wrap it up. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you so much for supporting. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so, because it's really true. 70% of my viewers are not subscribed, still to this very day. It's mind-boggling, guys. So if you want to support, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell as well. I saw a few comments where people said, oh, I missed the live stream. Yeah, that's due to you guys not hitting the notification bell. Or not to blame you, because sometimes YouTube still doesn't notify you because they simply do not want to, right? Anyways, that being said, again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. It is truly mind-boggling to me. It means the world that we grew this channel together. People here from the get-go, many new faces as well. Let's keep on going like this. It's absolutely amazing. Please always let me know in the comments, in the chats, what you guys want to see next. If there's something that you want to see aside from reaction videos, I'm always open to discuss as much as I can here on this platform. Other than that, as I mentioned already, I opened up a Rumble account, so God willing, in the future I should be able to talk a little bit more on Rumble. We'll see how that goes. Alright guys, but this is it for today's live stream. God willing, I should be back on Sunday. And in 9 minutes from now, we're gonna have a new video online. Okay, this is it. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Let me know about ideas as well, please, for a 100K special video. I'm going to think about something. It's not going to be just yet. I'm going to be a bit too late to my own party. But I want to do something special, but I'm not too sure how or what yet. We will see. We'll see. I'll find something for sure. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Without you, it would be absolutely impossible. I appreciate every single one of you. And God willing, we'll see each other soon on Sunday. This is it for today. As always, may God bless you all. Much love and peace.